Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 1st of November going through until Sunday the 7th of November 2021. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to go through each day this week to see what the planets are doing, how they interact, and what energy that brings up for you. And the thinking behind that is if you know what the positives are, then you can align yourself with those and avoid some of the pitfalls. And speaking of pitfalls, what I noticed is that there's going to be a lot of trickery going on this week. So people will present themselves a certain way, but have a completely different agenda behind the scenes. So when you're listening to information or reading it, or you're exposed to info in any way, make sure that you analyze it and you look at what's really being said before simply accepting it as truth. You'll be able to avoid a lot of problems that could arise later on in the week by using your critical thinking and looking at what you could get out of a situation rather than what it's designed to do, which is to help other people. And to really keep a clear perspective on that is important the whole week. Monday, the 1st of November, we've got the moon in Virgo forming an opposition with Neptune in Pisces, and that kind of creates the first dichotomy of this week. The Virgo moon is grounded and analytical. It wants to make sense of things. It wants to take on as much information as possible in order to create meaning. Neptune in Pisces is very different. Neptune is the water planet of dreams and intuition, and that's urging you to be creative and imaginative and to connect with the higher realms. Now, the universe is kind of big and it's difficult to get everything down on paper and to make sense of absolutely everything. So it immediately puts that Virgo moon at a disadvantage, and you may feel like, wow, there are certain things that I just cannot know. The Virgo moon also trines Pluto in Capricorn. So you're looking at what could be. You're looking at what exists in an idealized version of your life rather than focusing on reality. And it quincunxes Jupiter in Aquarius and squares Venus in Sagittarius. So you've got this childlike desire to have fun and to explore. And at the same time, the opinions and the information shared by other people will seem of paramount importance. So there's a lot of stuff going on here on Monday, which puts you in a shaky position because one, you're trying to analyze things that are infinite. And second of all, you're listening to rules and instructions. And at the same time, you have this childlike need to fulfill your own needs. So which one do you choose? We've got Mercury in Libra also forming a trine with Jupiter in Aquarius, and that kind of the seesaw is now coming down on one side because Mercury in Libra gives you a great appreciation for the community and other people in your life, and Jupiter in Aquarius makes that even bigger. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system, the planet of good luck and good fortune. So it seems that your relationships are absolutely everything and super important. So if someone comes along and tries to manipulate you and you're just like a deer in the headlights, then you're going to be easy to manipulate. The sun in Scorpio quincunxes Chiron in Aries, and that's really the saving grace of the day because it grounds you internally and it says, my feelings. What about my needs? So if something doesn't sit right with you, even though it makes sense on paper and everyone else is applauding and say, oh, fabulous idea, let's do it. If you get the sense of, oh, I don't know about this, then that is a real gift. And listen to that inner hesitation, that internal reluctance, because that's what's going to keep you from making mistakes or getting involved in situations which really don't benefit you. So on Monday, reality is far less interesting than the dream world you could be occupying at the moment. You're far more likely to spend time in conversation or engaging in kind of frivolous amusements to pass the time than you are likely to do something that's concrete and grounded. Using your imagination to make plans for the future is a better way to use this energy. So rather than just passing the time and saying, how can I amuse myself for the next 5 minutes? Look at what you would like to achieve in your working life, in your future, what your life purpose is all about, and try and make some plans to structure those into your life. You'll really benefit from those. On Tuesday, the 2nd of November, we have the moon going into Libra at 1:11 in the morning. So this focus on other people becomes even stronger. The Libra moon opposes Chiron in Aries. So the desire to heal yourself or to walk your own path, that becomes optional. And it's like, well, I'm getting on so well with other people and everything seems to be so fun and there seems to be so much interaction. Why should I even bother with my own needs? Again, remember, it's trickster week, so make sure that you don't completely dismiss your own desires and needs and feelings for the sake of other people. You may turn around later in the week and say, what just happened here? What did I get myself into? The Libra moon also trines Saturn in Aquarius. So you're easily controlled. If someone gives you a set of rules, you're like, okay, well, these are the rules, I need to follow them. So try and think outside of the box and look after yourself. It also quincunxes Uranus and Taurus. So you have on Monday with Venus in Sagittarius and now here on Tuesday, you have this childlike need to burn bridges or to have fun in the short term without any kind of appreciation for the long-term consequences. So, they did teach us this at schools. Actions do have consequences. So if you want to avoid negative consequences later in the week, make sure that you don't stand there and delight at things which are harmful to other people or harmful to yourself or which are short-lived. Try and look at the bigger picture. Mercury in Libra squares Pluto in Capricorn. So that's really interesting because information and instructions that you get from other people that you don't question can have really dramatic effects on your everyday experience. So make sure that you only commit to things and act upon things which you think are good and right and proper. Don't just take it at, okay, well, you're in a position of authority, so I'm going to listen to you, I'm going to believe you, I'm going to do whatever it is you say. And weirdly on Tuesday, it takes it to the next level a little bit because relationships morph into something they're not. You start to see people as kind of an extension of yourself, and you may judge yourself based on how popular you are with other people. So it takes the kind of onus away from you and it gives it to other people and says, well, if you like me, then I'm okay. If you don't like me, then something's gone really wrong. And the key here is to not even engage with that process and to say, well, this is what I feel. This is what I think is important. Therefore, that's good and right and proper. So you have to exercise a little bit of self-discipline here. So it's tricky on Tuesday because you need to pay attention to what other people are really doing rather than what they appear to be doing. And it's important to refuse being a sheeple. You know a sheeple? Bear, someone who just blindly follows and does whatever they're told. Because you may get involved in something that is less than ideal and that serves the other person and not you. So abandoning judgment and reason for popularity is a bad idea that will cause problems further down the line. So avoid that. Wednesday, the 3rd of November, we've got the Libra moon forming a trine with Jupiter in Aquarius. So if being gullible has been an issue this week, which it certainly has, then it reaches its pinnacle and it becomes strongest on Wednesday, the 3rd. Because the appearance of others and the desire to emulate what they've got and to listen to what they're telling you, that becomes very, very strong. And your critical thinking skills kind of go out the window and you have to deliberately add them in. The Libra moon squares Pluto in Capricorn. So again, there could be drastic consequences to what you're doing, especially in conjunction with other people. The Libra moon conjuncts Mercury in Libra. So it's very seductive to be part of a team and to be a part of something bigger than yourself. I mean, we all have that desire to be part of a community, to have people around us who are on the same page, who share the way we think. Working together at some common goal is pleasurable and nice. But on Wednesday, because things seem to be so tricky and you don't have a complete grasp on what's really going on, it's important to resist that urge to just say, okay, I'm part of the team here. I'll do whatever it is you want. Because the team ultimately isn't going to be held responsible, but the individual members of that team. The Libra moon also quincunxes Neptune in Pisces, and it sextiles Venus in Sagittarius. So you still have this tendency to live in in a dream world, and you have this childlike need to be liked and to have fun and to have positive experiences. Other people who are more independent and self-sufficient in that sense, they're the ones who are going to be doing the chess playing on this day. So don't get caught up in someone else's machinations and schemes. And yeah, it's interesting. It's a very particular type of energy. So on Wednesday the 3rd, be careful about what you expose yourself to, who you expose yourself to. You're easily influenced and susceptible to groupthink. If you manage to contemplate or to explore a situation for yourself, you'll get far better ideas than the info you're currently responding to, which is going to be lowest common denominator kind of stuff. You'll be thrown the scraps. So it's very, very important that you tap into your own power on Wednesday and that you refuse to let yourself be bamboozled and brainwashed. Wow. Okay, Thursday the 4th of November, we've got the moon going into Scorpio at 2:52 in the morning. This is a nice shift now because the moon in Scorpio takes a dive into your own feelings and into your own certainty. And it's kind of like, well, now it's easy for me to say, okay, this doesn't sit right, so I'm not going to do it. That's the end of it. You don't like it? Too bad. I don't like it, so I'm not going to do it. We have a new moon in Scorpio as well on Thursday the 4th, so it becomes really intense because the new moon is pitch black and it pulls loads of energy in. So it's Scorpio to Scorpio squared. It's really intense, and Scorpio likes to get to the truth of the situation. So intuitively, you get your safety net back. You're not going to be like, oh yes, of course I'll join your little club. First of all, how do I feel about your club? And then I'll decide whether I'm going to join it. The Scorpio moon conjuncts Mars in Scorpio, so there's ambition and drive back in your kind of corner now. It squares Saturn in Aquarius, so it's a big shift on Thursday because it's now, the rules are at arm's length, and it's like, okay, well, let me contemplate this before I say yes. It conjuncts the Sun in Scorpio, so your control is everything. You want to know that you matter. You want to know that you're in charge, that you have say-so over what is going on. It quincunxes Chiron in Aries and opposes Uranus and Taurus. So you're interested in the self and you're less interested in managing chaos. It's like, well, you know, your circus, your performance, it's certainly not my show. So you deal with your stuff. So Thursday is nice. So if you're in a situation where you have to stick up for yourself, or you have to say, okay, well, this may be the way the family operates and does business, but I don't agree with it, so I'm not going to join you guys. If you have to have this kind of conversation, then Thursday the 4th of November is best because you're most certain and powerful in yourself. The Sun in Scorpio on Thursday opposes Uranus and Taurus, so you have a dislike for anything that is outside of your control. So that's the way people might win you over on Thursday. If they say, we have a quick fix and a solution to this problem which has been causing you a lot of headaches, then you may be tempted to go for that. But again, it is tricky the whole week. So make sure that it sits right with you before you commit to anything. So on Thursday, you return to a sense of self and have amazing self-belief. Information that comes in is now going to be challenged by you. Your feelings are stronger and will provide guidance, and your personal interests become paramount. You may confuse physical attraction with love on Thursday. So there are still ways where you're vulnerable and where you're likely to get the wrong end of the stick. So if you meet someone, you know, a friend of a friend over drinks, and within 5 minutes you're madly in love, then you may want to question that. And also if someone says, you don't need to work out every day, I've got this amazing quick fix where you do 5 minutes a day and you'll be in the best shape of your life. Careful. If it's too good to be true, it's likely too good to be true. Friday, the 5th of November, we have The Scorpio moon forming a trine with Neptune in Pisces. So your feelings are heightened to the level where you're incredibly intuitive now, and you're also creative and you have access to the higher realms. So if anything seems misleading or unclear on Friday, going within, meditating, contemplating, asking your guides for help, that's going to feel a lot easier and it's going to give you that internal compass. The Scorpio moon sextiles Pluto in Capricorn, so now things based on your feelings, they can have a drastic impact. So your best friend on Friday is yourself and the way you feel, and it squares Jupiter in Aquarius. So again, I am less likely to listen to what you're telling me or to take it at face value without being critical of it, and it puts the ball firmly back into your court. Venus enters Capricorn on Friday the 5th. So now we have the planet of love and beauty, not so interested in adventure and education and new discoveries. It's more interested in rolling up its sleeves, setting goals, and going about work and saying, I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to get practical. I'm going to do the legwork and I'm going to make it happen for myself. Mercury, the communication planet, also changes sign on Friday the 5th. So Friday the 5th is going to be a big day because we've got these big shifts of energy. Mercury goes into Scorpio. So it goes out of community settings, saying what's fair, what's right, how are other people going to be impacted by this? And it goes, what's my truth? And how can I make that the most important thing in my life? So with both Venus and Mercury changing signs on Friday, it may feel somewhat frazzling. It's like, wow, something is really shifting here. So you may feel a little bit anxious or ill at ease. But the good thing about Friday is that finally, for the first time this week really, reality and fantasy meet and you have the opportunity to make genuine changes for yourself. So you're either going to receive a vision or some sort of intense feeling of what you want your future to be, or you may overhear some information via other people, obviously, or you may read something or watch something that is going to serve as an opportunity. So information is going to come in on this day, internally or externally, and you can actually trust it for the first time this week, really. So working in a practical way based on these notions on Friday is important, and you can make a lot of progress, especially if you want to affect drastic change. So it's not about being cautious or thinking reasonably or being, thinking small or the short term. It's something huge and big. I feel that it's right. I've overheard something. I might seize the moment here, jump on this piece of info and change everything. And if that kind of thing comes up on Friday, then go for it. It's going to serve you very well. And you can see the shift. The shift early in the week is everyone else knows best and I don't. And then that causes you problems. And then later on in the week here, I know best. I'm in charge of my destiny and things work out better. Saturday, the 6th of November, the moon goes into Sagittarius. So the moon kind of picks up the slack now of Venus leaving Sagittarius and going into Capricorn, Mercury going out of the balanced air sign Libra and going into the depths of Scorpio. The moon in Sagittarius keeps things moving, keeps things light, and keeps you looking to the future. The Sagittarius moon then sextiles Saturn in Aquarius. And that's a harmonious influence. So now you're interested in the greater wisdom of what exists outside of you and how you can use that to your advantage. So now you're in charge again. You're not saying, I am this sheep being affected by everyone else's information. Now you shift things and you say, I generate content and I spread information that other people are going to respond to. So it's a real 180 shift in terms of who's in control and who does the talking and the influencing. The Sagittarius moon trines Chiron in Aries and quincunxes Uranus in Taurus. So difficulties are there to be dealt with. Your way through life is the most important and you're really on team you. Mercury in Scorpio sextiles Venus in Capricorn. So that's interesting, because if I feel this is important, then I can really work at it and I can really affect a major change. So if something is important to you, it opens the way for you to do the legwork and to make a lot of progress and to succeed. So on Saturday, you're less interested in your environment and you may want to take some time out for yourself. Contemplation and taking a rest before you jump into action is a good way to solidify and to focus your plans for the future. So Saturday is a really nice day that kind of puts you in the hermit position, where you understand that your truth is incredibly powerful, that it's okay to take some time out to say, what is it that I really want? And then to solidify that and to say, okay, now I've got everything I need, I'm going to move ahead. Sunday, the 7th of November, we've got the Sagittarius moon forming a square with Neptune in Pisces. So we're taking off into fantasy land again. And it sextiles Jupiter in Aquarius. So that's interesting because it has the potential of being tricky, like things were earlier in the week. You've got that childlike need to experience things again. Neptune gives you a great sense of what could be, the imagination and fantasy. And Jupiter in Aquarius, information via other people is very important. So a friend or family member may come up with a plan that inspires you on Sunday. You're fun-loving, you're optimistic. So make sure, like you did earlier in the week, that if you're jumping on a bandwagon or you're getting involved with someone else's ideas, that things have been well thought out and that those things are unlikely to cause you any problems further down the road. So avoid anything that seems underhanded or morally or ethically questionable. Ultimately, does it sit right with me? If not, I'm not going to do it. It will catch up to you. And that's the thing about this week, is that the trickery and the things that you're being bamboozled into, the negative effects don't show up straight away. They'll show up later on. So it's very important to be quite disciplined and to do kind of forward thinking for yourself. Yeah, because it will catch up. Like I read the other day that there was some sort of hack online and certain celebrities, their information had been illegally, obtained. And the people who've accepted bribes and who've done things that are underhanded obviously are now in big trouble, because that information is going to be exposed. Obviously, the hacking is a crime in itself, but it then doesn't excuse the facts that are unearthed about certain people. And a big way to avoid any of these problems is not to, I mean, it seems pretty obvious, but is not to do anything underhanded. But then you need a little bit of foresight to say, do you know what? If I put if I put details of all the bribes I've taken, if I put those in my iCloud, then maybe I shouldn't do that, because it could be hacked in future, and then it might leave me with a bit of egg on my face. So maybe don't do the bribes, don't engage in this kind of thing, because it could bite me in the behind later on. And that's what this week is really about. It's things seem a certain way and they will catch up to you later, and the truth of the situation will be revealed, but not instantly. You have to wait a little bit. So just keep it above board and positive and good if you can. So that's what I get for you this week. I hope you have a wonderful time. If you would like a personal reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, just scroll down a little bit until you get a button that says book your reading. Click on that button to order your reading with me. And in my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. The astrology chart I draw up by using your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a rectification with me. That's a process where I work out your time of birth. Once I have the information, I get a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, and it tells me a lot about you, your identity, your vocational aptitudes, travel, relationships with institutions and colleagues, love life, money, work, family. spiritual development, friendships, anything at all really. So if you have questions or you want to see what's coming up in future, I look at your progress chart and your transits for that. And also if you're interested in different parts of the world and where to live and where the best areas are, I use astrocartography for that. So there's a lot of information that's available via your astrology. If you are interested in that info, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. Hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a fabulous week, and I'll speak to you next week. All the best.